Welcome to another crafting video. In this video, we are going to be making a clock that is a fairy house, and specifically this is Tink's apartment from the movie Hook. This movie I think is from 1991, and it has Julia Roberts playing Tinkerbell, Robin Williams playing Peter Pan. This is one of my favorite fantasy movies of all time, and if you haven't seen it, oh my gosh, it is the best. It is severely underrated. I have often quoted it and people don't know what I'm talking about. So definitely, if you've not seen it, definitely go watch it. It's amazing. I love it. It was on Netflix. I'm not sure if it still is. But basically the plan is, as you can see behind me, we're going to be using cardboard. We are actually going to make it a functioning clock, so I have bought the pieces to do that. And first step is to sketch, so let's get that sketch started. So here we have the final sketch for the basic layout. It's just a square box, and then we have an arch on the top. The door is going to be the circular part in the middle, and then there's some columns on the front on the sides. Now, in between the circle that's middle and the square that goes around the clock part is some decorative scrolly thing that light can come through. For that, we are going to take our time with an X-Acto knife and cut it out of paper. So that is going to be, like, light is going to be able to come through that. And we have the same thing up at the top arch as well. So that's probably gonna be what takes most of our time, honestly. I hit the jackpot. I found in my garage this smooth cardboard. See how like nice and smooth it is? It doesn't have any pictures or anything. And look, it already has an arch. What? So it's a square arch box. Like that's pretty amazing. We are going to alter this box just a little bit, but it's cool to have the basic shape already here. And this cardboard is really nice. I don't even remember what came in it, but it's nice cardboard. I have more of it just in case. Cue the montage of me cutting and reshaping this box. Let's do a little update on our build so far. So the basic shape is here. This is it. We've got the floor in, which, oh my gosh, was that not so satisfying? It was so perfect. We've got the arch built, the roof is on, and I already lined it with the white paper because it had like the purple Swiffer logo on the other side, and I know that I'm not gonna be able to paint that. The things that I don't think I'll be able to paint, I was going to cover in paper anyways. Like, I think I'm going to cover the outside in paper because of the tape that I've been using. It would look weird and bumpy underneath of paint. So, everything is looking so good. The next step is to start the decorating process or the embellishment process. And if we take a look at the sketch real quick, the next thing I want to do is try and make these columns and then the middle pieces right here. So here we have the columns covered in paper. They're going to go on the front sides right here. But as you can see, it's not gonna stay on with tape like that, so we're gonna use the hot glue gun. Here is what the curve is gonna come from. I've taken a piece of paper that's much wider than the column and bent the edges on the back side. And I'm using glue because I don't want the tape to be visible at this point. So that's what we're doing right now. I'm just putting glue on one side of the paper right here. Gosh, I wish my camera would stop focusing on the wrong things. Oh my goodness, my hands are so shaky. It's because it's lunchtime and I'm hungry. Okay, and then put our little top on it. I've been thinking a lot about how the hinge is going to work because it's a circle, so it's not gonna hinge open like a regular door. I was thinking it could be a fun and cool idea to have, let me just demonstrate. Let's say that this is the circle door. There's like a little beam that goes here and it hinges on this beam so that when it opens, there's somewhere for this little crescent edge to go. Like this. Goes sort of inside the box first, and then we can hold it in place like this. I've painted the floor, and two things. One, it's not the right color of white. It's fine for the floor, but when we get to painting some outer pieces, we're gonna have to mix a different color. So, other thing is, I still like the wallpaper idea. We're still gonna do wallpaper. So I found some papers that I have that are gonna be cute. If I can get my camera to focus on them. This one literally has a clock on it. And there's two of this kind. And then this is gonna be the back. And this is what this looks like. It's like a light blue thing. A quick update, we finished the wallpaper on the inside. And now I'm going to do the paper, just like the white paper, on all of the sides that have tape. And then these little pieces I'm gonna paint. But I'm not gonna make you watch me put the paper on because it's gonna take forever and it's really boring. I've covered the majority in paper. We've got the sides here and the back. And this part I'm not covering in paper because that's gonna be on the wall. So everything is covered pretty much. The next part is gonna be these little sections with the cutouts where the light is gonna shine through. Here's the little designs I made to go in those spots. And there's the top. And it looks like the picture as much as I could tell. And now I'm gonna just cut out the in-between spaces. Drew the designs for the cutout parts and painstakingly cut the corner pieces, and this took me so long and it was so frustrating. I do not enjoy doing tiny things like this with my hands. So when we got to the top, I was like, no, I don't want to do the top. So I just colored the blank space in with black so that it looks like a shadow, hopefully. So it looks like our hot glue gun is heated up. Now here's the thing. I don't want it to accidentally get stuck in the wrong spot. So I'm gonna try my best to get it aligned really well. Okay, It is time to install the hinge for our door, and so I'm just gonna put the pole in here. I have pierced a hole down at the bottom where it's going down. It is so hard for me to show you what's happening right now. And then I'm holding it so that it's straight up and down. And I'm going to glue it both at the bottom and at the top. So for the door, we've installed our beam, which on the camera does not look straight, but it looks straight in person. Don't know why that is. Anyways, so for the door, what I'm gonna do is on the back here, where the beam is gonna go down, I've got these little hinges that I've made. I'm going to glue them around the pole. And there they are. Glued down. So the next step is going to be mixing a color that matches the paper that we've been using, because I'm going to paint the door and this little frame and then these two little side pieces with it. Let's see how that looks. Definitely too dark. I'm gonna add some more white in there. That looks very similar. All right, the next thing, I don't know if you can see, I've made some details here and I've done the columns. And the next thing that I'm going to do is this little section here. There's little faces in here. Okay, now for inside, I noticed in the picture that there were feathers and something that looked like a locket that was open to look like a mirror, and then something that it was sitting on, and I thought it would be appropriate to use an old box of tea. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put that in there. It's kind of hard to fit, but it fits. The lockets. And then the feathers. A nice little house for a fairy. And now let's take a look at the finished product. Tink's apartment is complete, and boy howdy, it took me a long time. Yeah, I worked on it almost every single day of the week, which is rare. I made time, and it just took forever. There were so many things that I anticipated taking like 15 minutes, then it ended up taking 30 to 40 minutes. Like, for example, framing the door. I think it turned out so beautifully. Like, I was not anticipating it turning out this good. In the past, every time I've tried to do a cardboard project, it ends up real wonky because cardboard is just like really hard to cut in a straight line. Now, granted, this is not perfectly square. It's not perfectly straight everywhere, but it's close enough to look good. We ran into a few issues. The clock face ended up not being big enough to actually be a clock, and you know, that's kind of sad, but it still looks cute, and we still got to put the clock hands on the clock face. So on our scale of chaos to cursed, I think this one lands dead on chaos. It was one of my least chaotic crafts so far, I think, because although everything took longer than expected, everything worked better than expected, with the exception of the clock. Let me know down below which of the Lost Boys in the movie Hook is your favorite. And you can pick a pirate if you want to. Let me know, do you think that this is closer to chaos, closer to cursed? You can say it's closer to cursed. You're not gonna hurt my feelings. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's video. I did have a lot of fun doing this project. Probably the only part that I wouldn't do again would be the X-Acto knife cutting out the little teeny tiny filigree thingies. I don't know what it's called. Why do I keep calling it filigree? I'm not sure. But the little cutouts right here. Yeah, that was almost as frustrating as making a clay dragon. So difficult if you have shaky hands. I will see you guys in the next video. And let me just say, please stay tuned for the next video because I am so excited for it. We're going to get to use, this is your hint, we're going to get to use a very fancy piece of crafting equipment that I have never used before. And I'm just so excited about it. So please stay tuned for next week's video, and I'll see you there.